journey is a state of mind, a movement to a destination away from home in the quest for the unknown, in search of a unique experience that will inevitably leave a lasting impression in our memory. In this day and age, where travel is but an itinerary that is planned online through Google Maps and social media, we can virtually visit the places before even setting foot on some distant land. But for us, fortunately, there are no memories of the places that have been shared online, and so we are moving yet again to a relatively unknown landscape, traveling to a village, relying only upon our imagination to conjure images of a wilderness still pristine and largely untrampled by man. We head south of Shillong under a brooding grey sky, threatening to unleash its thunder and rain sometime during the day. The road ahead is shrouded in fog and mist most of the way from Maujrong to our last stop at Nongba Maushut. It's the monsoon season, and this part of the world undergoes a transformation in its mountains and valleys. Waterfalls emerge out of the most unlikely places, creating spectacles at almost every corner. Khatarshnong at this time of the year is most attractive, with its mountains and valleys appearing verdant and lush green, partially obscured by the mist and the clouds. It's a picture perfect image that will remain in our memory for a very long time. We are some 50 odd kilometers from Shillong, and all along the rain, which has been pouring in this area for the whole week, is shying away from us. We pass by the deserted Krang and Mautijo village before stopping at the Nongba Maushut station to undertake the remaining part of a journey on foot. Our guides take us on an often used stone trail, passing through broom grass fields which gradually descended to our place of interest. Urkhan is about an hour's trek away, but most probably it takes shorter time during the winter season when the stepping stones are much less slippery. We pass by the villagers who are clearing the broom grass fields, preparing the land and crops for the next season. The farmers in Khatarshnong continue with their work in the fields, rain or shine, throughout the monsoon season. They have adapted to the extreme weather conditions and learned to live with the rain as they move about their daily chores. It's a tough life being a cultivator in Khatarshnong, as this area also receives as much rainfall as Cherrapunji, the rainiest place on earth. Broom grass has been the major crop of this area, the main source of livelihood of the farming community. It requires a lot of time, some 10 hours of hard work every day to prepare and care for the plants for the next harvest. Move on down the trail, passing the orange nurseries along the way. It's a welcome sight to see the young trees looking healthy and having grown some 3 feet tall. It will take a few years for them to bear fruit, but it's really heartening to witness these micro-organic nurseries which are signs of a vibrant and hopeful future for us and the generations to come. We visit a lower primary school along the way, and even in this remote region, the younger generation are being prepared for the future against the odds of having much lesser facilities and scarce resources. Education is the bedrock of civilization, and hopefully, these young students armed with knowledge will someday help to transform their society into a better one. The Khatarshnong villagers are indeed the custodian of our farming heritage and deserve much appreciation and encouragement for continuing with the tribe's traditional farming practices, which is ecology friendly and sustainable. All signs in the village, in spite of the difficulties, point towards a general feeling of wellness, a certain kind of optimism that is inscrutable but pervades in the simple and friendly atmosphere of the village.
So today we are on a journey to one of the villages in Khatarshnong. It's called Urkhan, and by my compass we're going southeast. We're presently 142 degrees southeast, and this is going to be an hour's journey, an hour of trekking, and we hope to show you many interesting things.
Surprisingly, as we continue walking down the trail, the clouds cleared for a while and we were greeted by some sunshine, a rare occurrence in the middle of the rainy season. The rain, which we wanted to experience, remained elusive again today. A call of the wild by our guide Lucas paved the way further downhill. It's a strange, eerie sound made by a deep-throated yell in brief intervals. It's a call to any one of the villagers working in the jungle around us.
We're climbing down the steep walkway, stone steps, very slippery, and these shoes are not helping me at all. I have to take off my shoes and go with my socks so that I don't slip and fall. It's really slippery out here, and this is the only way because this is a monsoon season and these rocks are all covered with moss.
We move on down the narrow, slippery trail on wet and moss-covered stepping stones that had not received any sun, probably for the whole month. The Urkhan stream rushing down from the hill adjacent to Padang village is made up of a number of rivulets and a series of waterfalls, of which one is the most eye-catching. There is a lush green canopy alongside the river throughout its course, but the presence of a large number of ficus trees near the waterfall was something which we did not expect.
So we finally reached Urkhan, and there's a root bridge down there surrounded by ficus elastica trees. It reminds me of the movie Avatar when you look at this place. Pristine, clean, green, and Mother Nature has really blessed Khatarshnong. I have to put back my shoes on because the trail was difficult and a lot of tiny stones were poking my soles. This Ficus Bridge is located in such a beautiful place. For the first time in all my travels, I have found a bridge with a waterfall, and this is really beautiful.
The scene is right out of a storybook and no narrative, in my opinion, can sufficiently describe the raw beauty of the place. It's an old sturdy bridge. The deck of the root bridge is inlaid with loose flat stones on some level soil, which makes the walk across the bridge much easier. About 12 feet in height from the waters below, the bridge, some 25 feet in length, is suspended from both sides by thick roots of the ficus tree. It overlooks a small pool of water created by the rushing torrent of the Urkhan waterfall. It's an awesome setting of a root bridge in the foreground and a waterfall in the background. On one side of the bridge, the river drops below the edge of a steep slope. It's a perfect rainforest ecosystem where the Ficus elastica thrives and its canopy dominates the surrounding landscape.
This is a unique ecosystem, and the Urkhan root bridge extends after 20 meters, extends to this place, which was unexpected. This location has one very special place in the history of root bridges. As you can see, this is but a family of ficus trees, right from the top where the waterfall starts, and till you go down to the fields below. This stretch is full of ficus trees.
Our friends wasted no time stripping off their clothes to swing on the hanging roots across the waterfall. The Urkhan ecosystem is a pure and flawless rainforest that stretches undisturbed for miles, except for man's organic farming and the living bridge architecture. There is hardly any noticeable human intervention. The sound of the waterfall have drowned our voices and we could scarcely hear one another. This is nature exemplified, all the elements collectively conspiring to make this place what it is, 100% pure and organic. We left Urkhan bridge after some time, the roar of the waterfall slowly receding behind us. It's a steep climb uphill but much more relaxed than the slippery walk downhill earlier today. We were on our way to experience some of the slow food of the Khatarshnong area. Meanwhile, we took a recce of the nearby villages with the help of our eye in the sky, the drone camera. It's a 180 degrees view of the landscape below, and there were some amazing sights of the villages on top of the narrow thread-like ridges and the river valleys below. It was a tough but pleasant walk back to Nongba Moshut, where a feast awaits us. I'm looking forward to some good, healthy, organic slow food, which is rare and hardly available in the towns and cities. It's always a happy ending when you end your hard day's work with some special food. But first things first, let's do the cooking.
So we've been invited for lunch in the Khatarshnong's house, or the headman's house here in Nongba Moshut. So we are going to cook some jackfruit, and this is what they're going to cook. the rags or the flesh of the jackfruit, which encapsulates the fruit, the ripe fruit. And we have salt, we have turmeric, chilies, onions, and oil. This is basically mustard oil, which is very popular in this part of the Khasi Hills. So the oil is hot enough, and you can see the onions sizzle in the oil. So she adds a pinch of turmeric. This turmeric is also readily available here in Nongbak Moshut, Khatarshnong. Everything is organic. So she cuts in the chilies, the green chilies, which will add a bit of spice to this dish. Jackfruit is an important food item, and recently scientists have done a lot of research, and they found that it's a superfood. That's what they say. So she pours in the rags, which have been chopped into small pieces, and in Khasi we say shetkala, the juice from the flesh of the jackfruit will eventually cook this fruit. So last of all, it's the salt. It's about a tablespoon of salt. After stirring the jackfruit, we put it on the fire for some time to let it cook. This pipe, what you see here, is what we use in the traditional kitchens, and in this part of the country they still use this. It's called Tindong Slow Ding, and I'm going to blow the fire using this. These, my friends, are the famous frog legs, caught sometime in the morning from the little streams that crisscross this village, Nongbak Moshut. What we're going to do with this is we're going to deep fry them, and with a bit of spices, turmeric, pepper, and after that mix it in a salad. So let's see what our lady here does. So the oil is boiling, and she puts in the onions. So let the onions get stir fried for some time, and she adds in a bit of turmeric and pepper. That's a lot of pepper, and stirs it a bit. This, I believe, is going to be a cracker of a dish. Now I add this frog legs, jape. Add a bit of salt, and this looks like it's going to be a very tasty dish. This is called slow food, and it's not every day that we get frog legs in Shillong. When in any other place, this is quite an effort by our hosts here, and we are thankful to them. So after that frying bit, we're going to pour in some water to tenderize the meat. Yep. The frog legs are ready, and what she's going to do now, our host, she's going to mix it up with some onions, ginger, and of course a bit of salt. So what she's doing is she's crushing it with her hands, which is the best way actually to mix anything, and you can feel the texture of the food that you crush. There's a lot of finesse in this actually. So here it goes, my frog legs, speciality, Nongbak Moshut in Khatarshnong. Let's taste it. Delicious. So what you see here is a man cutting the bird's eye chilies and mixing it with the pieces of onions, chopped onions, and as you can see, again, it's going to be a jackfruit salad. This is the fruit of the jackfruit, the raw fruit of the jackfruit, and they've cut this into pieces. So we're going to mix the onions, the chilies, and put in a bit of mustard oil. So this concoction, this mix is quite lethal. I truly believe that this is going to be quite a dynamite dish. In goes the onions and the chilies. And he's going to mix it. This is basic organic food. And I'm just dying to sample this. It looks very good. It smells good. The fumes from the onions are attacking my senses. And there goes the mustard oil. Mustard oil is a really nice combination for salad. The aroma that comes out of the mustard oil makes a lot of difference. Oh, so I'm going to take this in. That's quite a lot. Let's taste this. The flavors just burst inside your mouth. This is something which all of you should taste. It's a hell of a dish. So this is another surprise. What you see here is a powder, but this powder is nothing but the powder of the yam. What the people here have done is, in the month of December, they dig the yam from the soil. They have dried the overripe yam, peel off the skin, they crush it on a piece of stone. This is unique to this place because I've never seen anything like this before. And this powder is added to rice which is cooked. I'm dying to see what's going to happen. So she's going to pour in the yam just when enough water is still there and the rice is cooked. This is unique. This is a tradition which I have never seen in the Khasi Hills before. Now what she's doing is she's stirring the rice and the yam. And incidentally, yam is very nutritious. It has lots of iron, and this is really good organic food. So this practice basically of putting the powder, the yam powder, into the rice originated in the sense that before they do not grow any rice, any paddy here in Khatarshnong. So they ate this powdered yam, mixed it with water and boiled it. And after they got the rice, started cooking with rice being the staple food, they still continued this tradition of eating the boiled yam. So this is what they do. So what we have here are these seeds of the jackfruit which have been roasted in fire. So what you're going to do is you're going to crush it in this stone slab. And this is a kind of a chutney. So what we have here is the crushed roasted jackfruit seeds. And this is also another speciality of Nongbak Moshut and the Khatarshnong villages. They love the jackfruit, and they don't call jackfruit the king of fruits anywhere else but here in Khatarshnong. And this is again a chutney. It's a bit sticky. This paste is nice. It's a bit sweet, and they've added a bit of salt. The onions and the chilies add to its flavor. What we have here again is another salad dish. A lot of salad is involved here in Khatarshnong. So what we have is some onions, chopped onions. This is sesame seed. This oil is fantastic. And this is papaya, the shredded papaya, a raw papaya. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up with this and put in a bit of salt and a bit of chilies. Nothing goes without a few chilies, and we love our green chilies. Siya yang root na? Oh, eh? Lasang i. Okay. Yeah. So this is a mix of papaya which is just about to ripen, and a raw papaya which they shredded, and this looks lovely. So what a combination. Along, I'm dying to taste this. This is good, healthy food. It would do a lot of good if they add a bit of lemon, which would add a lot of zest here. But as it is, it's really nice. This salad is good. It's sumptuous. It's juicy, and you can feel the sesame seeds and the onions. What a mix! So this is a leaf which they call Djibouti, and I just taste it a bit and find out what it's like. It's got a very refreshing taste. It's sour, but there's a lot of flavor in it. There's a lot of body in this, and I'm sure that this, when mixed in a salad, adds a lot to the salad. This is a feast which is fit for fit people like us, walking all that distance of 10 to 15 kilometers, and we come back to taste this organic, healthy food, this cooked in a slow food manner. What I'm holding in my hands is jayeng. Jayeng is a very popular vegetable, and trust me, it's really tasty. And they've cooked it, they've just boiled it and they mixed it. It looks delicious. This is jakria. This is also a vegetable, but this incidentally is the first time I'm tasting this. What they've done is, this is kind of a mix with boiled potatoes. Again, no oil in here. This is the rags, the flesh of the jackfruit, which encapsulates the fruit. And you saw me and a lady frying this. This is the yam rice. I'll just go through it. Yam with powdered yam mixed with rice. Nutritious, very nutritious. The frog legs, a mix of onions, chilies. This is the papaya and the sesame seeds. What a delicious dish. Then we have here the seeds of the jackfruit, which has been crushed with onions and chilies. And last of all, this is the jabut, the sour tasting leaf, more of a herb, and this is going to add a lot of zing to all this. We've come to the end of our journey here in Khatarshnong. We went to one of the most unique places, one of the most beautiful places, Urkhan, where there's a bridge and a waterfall. But besides the landscape, Khatarshnong is all about culture. And we got to sample the food culture here in Khatarshnong, which is unique and different from other villages. Until we meet again in another village.